Hello and welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Taiyo Corvette. So this is the next in my Corvette line, and this ship, like the rest of them, it's just designed as a small, light, kind of like a fighter equivalent. I've got no restrictions for like what sort of any ranks of starship design or anything like that on this ship. It's just grab whatever you can and see what comes out. Um, I was looking for a ship that was more of a short range fighter equivalent. Corvettes are more kind of like the local harbor patrol boats. If in a blue water navy, they might go on a long distance journey with enough support, but really they're there to go ahead and defend a, a space station or a local planet or outpost or whatever, and not really venture into the deep reaches of space. Now, this particular ship is entirely built using Taiyo parts from Taiyo Astroneering here on Neon. And you can see as we come around, small little ship. We've got the rear entry right here. And we enter into a one by one companion bay or companionway. Ladder going up into another companionway. Here's the docking bridge access right there. Open this door and we find ourselves in the Taiyo all-in-one. So because we have this door here, we are losing one of the bunks. So we have two beds, a bathroom, a small little galley, and then the door here leading to the cockpit. And that's the ship. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to build it now. So as mentioned, this is all put together from Taiyo Engineering here on Neon. So we're gonna run all the way on down here to the elevator, hop on in, go to Taiyo Engineering.
Taiyo is literally, you won't regret your purchase.
And here we go. So let me start by going ahead and getting my colors in my palette. You can see I went with a blue, then a kind of dark teal, and a red. That's for the entire ship. Now, one of the things I'm going to note, this ship does not make use of the ship flip glitch. You can build this entirely vanilla. So you don't need any mods, you don't need anything special, you just need to come to Taiyo Astroneering and you can put it all together. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to start with the shipbed 200 landing bay. Then, directly off of that, we're going to grab the Taiyo Companionway bottom B. And then we're going to grab the top B. And then we are going to go ahead and grab the top B all-in-one berth. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the Himeji command bridge. Basically just whatever the best Taiyo bridge you can get. Then we're going to come back here and grab our extend port docker. And ta-da, that's it. That's the habitable spaces of the ship. Alright. Next up, we are going to go ahead and add a couple structural elements to start. So I have the Taiyo forward sensors placed directly under the command bridge. If you want, instead of the forward sensors, another good spot thing to put in this spot would be the Taiyo braking engine. Now, we do have to have that to give a connection point for our reactor, because the reactor is hooked to this, and we are using that Spheromac DC202, which only has a front and side connection points. It does not have top, bottom, or rear. So we have to have this before we can connect this. Then behind it, we're going to go ahead and grab our grab drive. And for the ship, I only needed a Helios 200. All right. Next up, gear. We've got the Pinpoint 4G landing gear. And I just connected that directly to our companionway tower. And ta-da, we're done. Moving on. For our fuel tanks, I have a single 500T HE3 tank right on the back here. And then on top of that, I went ahead and tossed on the Bastille S84 shield generator. Now, I probably should go ahead and grab the 60S protector, but I had just been kind of fiddling around to see what I liked, and I wanted to use a shield. It's okay to have a slightly less effective ship if it looks cooler. Next up, let's come on over to the engines, where I toss on a pair of the White Dwarf 3015s. And you can either put them top or bottom, does not really matter. It's just we are going to go ahead and come on over to the structural tab, and we've got the rear-facing Taiyo cowling, which we can either put on like that, or we could do something like this instead. If you like that look more, go with that. Otherwise, go with that. There we go. All right. Next up. So there is not any connections on the side of the Helios grav drive, but there are on the side of the all-in-one berth and the reactor. So here I'm going to go ahead and toss a side cap, and then I'm going to toss the side cap B, which does have a weapon connection point on it, on the forward spot. There we go. Then I have the braking engine. And here, it does not clip. You can put that on. There is no ship flipping, no clipping, nothing at all. It just fits. Note here, if you wanted to, instead of the Helios 200, you could do the R2000. Gives you slightly more grav jump thrust that you don't need, but then you could go ahead and put the side cap back behind that as well. Another option to consider would be to go ahead and pull the grav drive off here, and then we could, oh, come on, hold this all back like this, and then we put the grav drive here and put the fuel, just the 400G fuel tank right on the back of that grav drive. It's going to shorten the ship a little bit, but it's also going to mean that you have a ladder coming directly up from here into this hab, and you will have all the beds rather than just the two. So if you like that, go for it. But just pointing out that it is an option that you can do. All right. So let's go ahead and get this all connected back on. Alrighty. Now, if you are wanting to build this ship without Starship Design, we're going to need to swap the engines. That's kind of the short and sweet of it, and we need to swap the fuel tank, and of course downgrade reactor, grav drive, shield, but I'm not going to go into too much detail there. But if we do need to swap the engines, on this ship, I would grab the White Dwarf 1020s instead. So you could just go ahead, toss a pair of these on, and that is what I would go with. You can see we still do maintain that 100 mobility, but we do drop our top speed because the White Dwarf 3015s are special. But if you like the general shape of this ship and you want to use it, I would go with the White Dwarfs. Alright, now let's talk weapons. So, as usual, I chose to go with particle beams, and I once again chose to do the non-auto weapons. Part of the reasoning on this one is I do only have these 6 hard points, so trying to do a full loadout of auto weapons would mean adjusting the ship to give us those additional weapon mounts. In this case, I went with the PB50s and the Vaporizer 35s. And there we have it, 37 equip power, 33 reactor power, so I actually have one more power with my Eniatronic Fusion skill than this ship needs. So, last step is to go ahead and paint it. There we go. And now let's take it out for a test drive. Nope, not that system. This one. Alright, there we have it. Whee! So, against single ships can go quite quickly. Hostile activity, hostile activity. Okay. Go check it out. Alright. Alright, I need a little bit more space. And slow down to 140. And see who catches me. Alright. So let's go ahead and slow down to say 130. Now we're going to wait for our shield to recharge, and then we will dive in for a close range engagement. And I will not be picking up any loot because I do not have cargo space. On. Let's check out this hostile activity. And let's see if we can take one of them out before, there we go. What happened to the other guys? Oh. And let's go ahead and keep some distance here until our shield recharges. There we go. And now we can dive in and finish him off. And there we go. So, if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. And otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Oh, out of cargo hold space.